I belonged to a church locally here where at that time we were about 3,500 to 4,000 people. And on a typical Sunday morning, I could literally see between 1,500 to 2,000 people vacate a premises or a facility in less than 15 minutes. Phenomenal. I mean, boom, you know, you went from this jammed parking lot to an empty desert literally in less than 15 minutes. But then you go upstairs where the Hispanics are, and 20, 30, 45 to an hour and a half, the kids are running around in the lawn, they're running along the hallways of the church, mom and dad are up there talking, yak, catching up on old times, and they're just living life. They're just having fun, they're connecting. Oh yeah, well, hey, you know what? Let's just go out and eat somewhere. Okay, well, let's go, or come to my house. That's the arrangements. Whereas you take a more of a Caucasian type culture and, hey, Tom, can you come to my house, say Sunday between 12 to 2? You know, and boom, it's structured, it's systematic. Whereas Hispanic, hey brother, you know what, Tom? Let's go have some enchiladas at my house right now. We'll just put on the grill and we'll make some beans and rice. And you know, you leave church about 1 o'clock and you're not eating until 3 o'clock because everything's made from scratch. But when you eat, you have a ball. See, and those are some of the cultural differences there. And some churches don't know how to handle that. I lived in Mid-City, Los Angeles. And supposedly Mid-City is supposed to be a stew pot where you have diversity. But yet, even Los Angeles itself is broken off and segregated by different areas. You have Koreatown, you have Chinatown, you have Little Tokyo, you have the Hawaiian Gardens, so where you have a high population of Polynesians, you have Hispanic communities, you have African American communities, what used to be Compton, even though Compton and Long Beach have really changed quite a bit. And right about my first grade, I was pulled, intentionally I was pulled out of the school and I was told I could no longer attend that school. I had to be going to another school. Well, the school that I was sent to was predominantly African American. And I didn't know how to handle that. And so I began to have problems because I couldn't relate, I couldn't find myself. And anything that would happen to me began to take this shape of racial hatred. And that went on for many years of my life into junior high school, where again, I found myself going from a predominantly Hispanic Chicano school to a predominantly African American context. The problem got so strong that we didn't care what gang we were from. When we would leave school, we didn't care if you were from the rival gang or you were Salvadorian or you were from Central. All of us left school together because we knew that if we were to be seen alone on the street, that would be the end of us. So the tension was so there. How do you compound this in America today? I believe it still goes on. I believe it's still happening. I believe we sugarcoat it. I believe we hide it under status quos and all these other things. And I believe when Rodney King, when the LA riots happened, it opened up an old wound. And people really had to see the tension amongst racism. But if I can now turn that to what could be called our mandate, our biblical mandate, I would call that, and I would call that mandate the mandate of reconciliation. The church is really the platform that God has given our world to say, hey, listen, if a church can be multicultural and coexist under the on top of the foundation, which is Christ, and put off their bias, their bigotry, the tensions, and come together as a body. Man, I can't imagine what heaven's gonna be like when we have the depth of teaching that maybe an Episcopalian, a Presbyterian, an Anglican, and then have the dynamic of a Baptist or let's say a Caribbean style type worship, and then you get the Hispanic flavor in there, and then you get the organization of the Caucasian, and you bring in this beef stew. This is our mission as a church, that we need to reach out to all people. I love what Isaiah says: you take the obstacle out of the people so that they can see the truth. And I think the problem has been is when a church forces or imposes fundamental cultural identity to a people group and tell them you have to be like us. That's dangerous. In any church or any society, it's dangerous. The end result is this. Jesus told his disciples, when you love one another, the world will know that you guys are truly my disciples.